Our society has fostered misconceptions about mental illness. Before the 1960s, people were sent to insane asylums. The individuals in these places were labeled as violent, a menace to society, a danger to themselves, and to everyone that they came in contact with. This was kept as a deep, dark family secret. Today, we place a great deal on emphasis on being normal, being perfect. And so, when we are not living up to the standards that society has set, we are labeled as abnormal. Individuals with mental illness feel shame, guilt, and they tend to isolate themselves. However, the truth is that at any given time, we all struggle with sadness, fear, and anxiety. The difference for an individual with mental illness is that it is out of their control. They can't just feel happy or stop being afraid or silence the negative thoughts. The simple fact is that something is not working in their brain. The science of brain chemistry is in its infancy. We have so much more to learn, but sadly, the funds are just not available for the research. Mental illness is not seen as an illness. If someone is diagnosed with cancer, heart disease, or diabetes, we understand that they need a specific treatment to control their illness. You don't say, stop having cancer or heart disease. You empower them to seek treatment for their illness. We need to challenge our beliefs about mental illness and stop putting labels on people. We need to look at mental illness as what it is, an illness that affects the brain. After all, the brain is an organ within our body. The stigma. We need to understand that the person is struggling with an illness that they can't control. Instead of being there for them so that they don't feel alone and isolated and even ashamed about their circumstances, we tend to ignore them or shut them out, creating more shame. People with mental illness are often labeled as crazy, weak, lazy, violent, unmotivated, nutcases, psychos, basket cases. While people with cancer are labeled as strong, brave, determined, and courageous. What a difference we would make if we used words that were different. The stigma can only be reduced by speaking openly about mental illness and understanding that it is an illness. What a difference we would make if we approached a person that is struggling and offered our friendship, our encouragement, our love. We do this when someone is suffering with a physical illness. We can also do this for someone that is suffering with a mental illness. Breaking through the barriers. How do we do this? We do this with love and acceptance. If we change the words that we use to describe the person, it would make such a difference. If we see them as strong, as resilient, as courageous, as beautiful, as caring, we approach the person and allow them to openly talk about what they are feeling and struggling with. I promise you, nothing will happen if a person starts crying. It's normal and a natural outlet. Allowing them to express themselves, express their fears or symptoms without judgment, will allow them to feel comfortable enough to seek treatment or consider seeking treatment. It makes a difference when you make them feel accepted, normal, loved. We need to really listen so that they feel supported. Don't be afraid to tell a person that you don't know much about their symptoms, but there are resources available to them, and you can help them find those resources. That makes all the difference in the world. They know they are not being judged, and someone has heard them, someone has seen them, someone is genuinely there to support them. It's also important to actively learn more about mental illness, particularly when it is someone close to you, such as a spouse, a child, a friend, or even a coworker. Just as we learn more about a cancer diagnosis, heart disease, we need to learn more about mental illness. Knowledge reduces fear. Knowledge allows for individuals to feel there is hope.